Welcome friends, আজকে আমরা ডিসকাস করছি হচ্ছে WBCS এর Polity mains এর paper. So we have 100 questions to discuss. Talking about the paper was neither very tough nor very easy, medium level of the examination we can say. Second জিনিস সেটা হচ্ছে PYQs থেকে কিন্তু অনেক কিছু রিপিট হয়েছে. Thirdly, the thing is that we have done some MCQs, some over the YouTube, some over our classes, and we can see a lot of questions we find in common, right? So we will discuss it one by one. I'll talk about that, how could you attempt it. So generally when I discuss I'm একটু depth jai, so today we will keep it a little simple and short because we have to discuss 100 questions. তোমাদের মধ্যে থেকে অনেকেই থাকবে যারা অ্যানসার মেলাতে চাও, কিংবা অনেকে থাকবে যারা হয়তো নেক্সট ইয়ার মেন্স দিচ্ছ, এবছর প্রি দিচ্ছ. For every one of you it's gonna be helpful. Okay, so the first question is, which of the articles deal with the grants in aid by the union government to states? So this is a straight cut question from the PYQ. আমরা এই কোয়েশ্চেনটা কিন্তু প্রিলিমসেও দেখেছি, WBCS দিয়েছে, and also in mains previously. So the answer here would be C, article 275. So article 275 talks about the grants in aid যেটা finance commissioner recommendation এ হয়. So see, they don't want to confuse you. এখানে যদি 282 দিত যেটা discretionary grants এর ব্যাপারে কথা বলে, article 282. So একটু confusion এর chances ছিল, but they have rightly given you 275. Baki articles are not related to it, right? So answer is C. Okay, so there we have basically two articles. One is the 275 grants in aid jeta finance commissioner recommendation hoy, vertical as well as the horizontal devolution. Second one is discretionary grants by the central government to the states, that is dealt under article 282. So it's asking about the one grants in aid, it's 275. Okay, second question, let's see, who administers the oath of office to the president of India before he enters upon the office? So the answer is easy, Chief Justice of India, CJI, right? CJI. So answer is A. Sixth schedule of the constitution does not provide administration for, always যখন not থাকে underline it so that you don't do a mistake. So you know 4 states are under 6th schedule যেখানে তোমার schedule tribes আছে. The states are definitely Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. They have given you the option of Manipur. So Manipur এখানে incorrect হয়ে যাচ্ছে, so D is the correct one. ঠিক আছে. Fourth question, who was elected as the permanent president of the Constituent Assembly? So Constituent Assembly যখন আমরা দেখছি, basically they are talking about the drafting of the constitution. So we see that temporarily Sachidanand Sinha was the president, and after that the permanent president was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. A is the correct answer here. So doctrine of pleasure was introduced in which article? It's article 310. So what is actually doctrine of pleasure? এটা অনেকে এর আগেও আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করেছিল. So basically we have discussed this previously also, but I'll give a sum up here. So doctrine of pleasure হচ্ছে যে তোমার প্রেসিডেন্ট কিংবা গভর্নরের ডিসক্রিশনে, or you can say প্রেসিডেন্ট কিংবা গভর্নরের প্লেজারে একটা যদি তোমার সিভিল সার্ভেন্ট কিংবা কোনো government official কে remove করে দেওয়া হয়, so that is the pleasure, right? So but it's not like that pleasure they are removed, there are certain procedures, but this is actually the doctrine of pleasure, that a person can be appointed or removed with the pleasure of the president or the governor. Okay, so that's dealt under article 310 of the Constitution of India. Question 6, at which of its session did the Congress officially accept the socialist pattern of the society? It was the Avadi session of 1955, very famous session. So this is the answer is B here. Fine. Which schedule of the Constitution of India prescribes forms of oath and affirmation? It is the third schedule, right? The third schedule of the Constitution. So all these schedules becomes very important, the 12 schedules. কোথাও থেকেও তোমার কিন্তু প্রশ্ন আসতে পারে. All the 12 schedules are very important. The first one talking about the union territories, everything is important. The third one, the fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, already we have seen 6th schedule e কোন particular states আছে, so কিছুও কিন্তু জিজ্ঞেস করতে পারে. The defection one, 9th যেটাতে তোমার কিছু laws আছে, so all are important. All 12 schedules, be it for mains, be it for prelims, are very very important. So এর আগে আমি যখন MCQs discuss করেছি, I've talked in detail about all the schedules. Today we have less time and we have to discuss all the 100 questions. I'll keep it a little short. From which country was the idea of concurrent list borrowed in India? So if you see, basically concurrent list মানে হচ্ছে both the state and the center has right to make laws, but if you see central's law will prevail over the state laws, but again said that central laws will not prevail যদি state তোমার প্রেসিডেন্টের থেকে পারমিশন দিয়ে laws বানায়, right? So this is the case, and the concurrent list has 52 number of subjects, so it has been taken from Australia, so C is the right one. Which of the following official documents is related with India? White paper, green, yellow, blue. So white paper. তো কোনো একটা law বানানোর আগে যে তোমার particularly একটা document draft যেটা শেয়ার করা হয়, এর আগেও আমরা দেখেছি যখন ব্রিটিশার্স were there before the Government of India Act 1935, there was the white paper. So white paper is the draft, you can say, of a law. ঠিক আছে? 10th, which article of Indian Constitution guarantees protection in respect of conviction for offences? Article 20, of course. Okay, Article 20. So basically retrospective implementation of laws, otherwise conviction যে লসটা already when the crime is committed তখন that was not a crime. So all these things are written under Article 20. So it's one of the fundamental rights against conviction, right? Question 11. What does the 8th schedule of Indian Constitution deal with? So 8th schedule, you know, it's official languages, right? It is the official languages. How many languages we have? 22, right? The answer is C here. Original Constitution of India had how many articles and schedules? 395 articles and 8 schedules, right? 395 articles and 8 schedules. So which committee recommended that there should be a reservation of seat for women in Panchayati Raj institution? So therefore this question actually under this Thangan and Gadgil duto committee kintu has recommended it, but jetar against this reservation was done, right? Jetar against a reservation পরবর্তীকালে গিয়ে আমরা দেখি that was the Gadgil committee. So I'll choose here D. Okay, so we will wait for the key. D will be the correct answer in my opinion, but Thangan and Gadgil committee both were actually under it. So we will go with D because Gadgil committee recommendation into latter the reservation was made. 14, in which case the Supreme Court specially find that preamble is not part. So we know that Berubari Union case, and under it said that preamble kintu constitutional part noy. Latter in the Keshavanand Bharti case, the Supreme Court says that preamble is part of the constitution, right? So here it is B because they are asking you not part. তো দেখো এগুলো প্রপারলি যদি পড়ি অনেক সময়তে হয় যে সিলি মিস্টেকস হয়ে যাচ্ছে বাচ্চাদের. I have seen this, and because they are in a haste, they are quick and they don't want to read the question properly, they do not underline. So please do underline it. Within 3 months you are having the pre, it should be a lesson for all of you. So 15 number question, in which year Balwant Rai Mehta committee was appointed to examine the working of the community development program? So basically this was a bottom up approach to look into the community development program. So it was the year of 1957. Okay, it is important. So committees and their years, Supreme Court, their verdicts, their years, amendments, their years, all these things are very important. Question 16, constitutional provision relevant for solving questions of repugnancy between central law and state law. So দেখো just now we have talked about the concurrent list. So basically concurrent list is viable যখন তোমার both are making laws. So it is dealt by Article 254. Article 254 B is the correct answer. And what does it say? I have already mentioned that central law would prevail over state law, but state যদি তোমার প্রেসিডেন্টের থেকে prior permission নিয়ে কোনো law বানায়, then the central law may be actually shadowed by the state law. Okay, that is the thing. How many articles were written in the constitution when it came to effect? So these two questions are same, right? D, 395, right? These two questions are same. দেখো one paper এ তুমি একটাই টপিক থেকে দুটো কোশ্চেন পাচ্ছ, right? Same question. A member of State Public Service Commission can be removed on the ground of misbehavior only after the inquiry has been held by. So State PSC যদি কাউকে remove করতে হয়, so it has to be done by the Supreme Court of India. Okay, the Supreme Court of India has to do the inquiry. Only after that he can be removed. Same goes with the UPSC members as well, right? Under the Panchayati Raj system, Gram Sabha consists of the persons who are registered in the electoral rolls relating to the village. Yes, okay. Here B is the correct answer, right? Then let's look into 20. Which one of the following high courts has the territorial jurisdiction over Andaman and Nicobar? See, Kolkata High Court has the territorial jurisdiction over ANN, right? So it's Calcutta High Court or Kolkata High Court as you call it. Then what we need to understand is that I think you have noted down the answers. Then another thing which we need to understand is that Calcutta High Court থেকে আরেকটা question তুমি পাবে যে Calcutta High Court is the first High Court. So this has also been asked here. Okay, so we will look into it. Which article is related to equality before law? Article 14. Equality before law is under Article 14, fundamental right? Right? Easy question, very easy question. এগুলো তো discuss আমি করছি না এই জন্যই. Later, you can go into the MCQs discussion I have made. Jokhon ami like 30 question or 50 question I discuss. I have discussed all of these things in details. So you can refer if you have doubts. So 22 question. Which article lays down that the law declared by the Supreme Court would be binding on all courts? So see, Article 141 actually says that Supreme Court is the one court, jeta tomar like it will actually be the highest court in the Indian territory, highest judiciary body, and whatever laws it makes is binding on all the other courts, like the high courts, like the subjudicial courts, all the other courts, okay, tribunals, all. Okay. 23. Who was the Prime Minister of India when a constitutional status for the Panchayati Raj for urban self-governing institution was accorded? Very easy question. P.V. Narasimha Rao. At that his time, the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act was passed, right? Okay. 24. Which is the oldest High Court? See, again they are asking it about Calcutta High Court. 1862 the Calcutta High Court, the first High Court of India was established. Okay, B is the correct answer. এর আগে আমরা দেখেছি আন্দামান এন্ড নিকোবরের উপরও ক্যালকাটা হাইকোর্ট রয়েছে। সো সি the type of question is quite repeated, है ना? You can easily answer, especially the part of polity has been very I mean, it's not easy, I will not say, but it has been something which a student যে পড়ে গেছে সে কিন্তু answer এটা properly করতে পারবে। Then we have which article of the Constitution of India envisages that there shall be an Attorney General. So see, whenever the central government has to be represented in any court like the Supreme Court, right, under the original jurisdiction or something, then who actually represents it? Okay, it is represented, the central government is represented by the Attorney General of India. Attorney General je post, this is actually a constitutional post mentioned under Article 76. So the answer is B, of course. আরেকটা জিনিস যেটা এখানে খুবই important you should know is whenever we are talking about Attorney General, you should know that Attorney General কিন্তু নিজের private practice ও করতে পারে, but one thing is for sure যে it cannot practice against the government of India, and whenever it does practice, it has to take some prior permission from the government of India. Okay. 26. Choose the correct statement stated in the Constitution of India. So Constitution of India te India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of state. Which article? Article 1. Article 1 is the answer, right? So here B is the answer, and excuse me, বাকি যেগুলো তোমরা you can go through it. Federation is not mentioned, quasi federal, no, it's not mentioned. Unitary also we don't call it, है ना? So if you read the articles a little, and why this has come, because recently Bharat, the name of India getting changed and other things, এগুলো কিন্তু অনেক কিছুই নিউজে ছিল, and because of that this has been asked. Okay, so current related তুমি কিছু জিনিস পাবে যেটা কিন্তু actually static. So if you do the static properly, related with the current, you can score a lot. Question 27. Which right was not taken from the British Constitution in the Indian Constitution? So freedom of press, right to vote, educational rights, all are from the British Constitution, but the fundamental rights is from the Bill of Rights of the US. US এর যে Constitution, তার থেকে Bill of Rights থেকে we get this fundamental rights idea of this. So C is the right answer. The government of India revoked the special status of J&K, and basically they have revoked the implementation of Article 370. And basically Article 370 still exists, but it is not applicable to J&K. So it was when? August 2019, right? 2019 August. Okay, I think it was during 5th of August 2019. Just you can check the date. 29 question. The 10th schedule of the Indian Constitution talks about what? See, all these schedules are important. Barbar ami bolchi, the 10th schedule talks about anti-defection, 11 talks about Panchayati Raj, 12 talks about the municipalities. All are very important. 9 talks about reservation of laws, jeta tomar judicial review থেকে outside. So all these articles, all these schedules becomes very important. So D is the one. And also the anti-defection, when you talk about what are the grounds of defection, all this are very important. Okay, grounds of defection is also very important. The amendment we brought it, and কোন particular prime minister at time. So all these things are your homework, please look into it. Which article is for the protection of interest of minorities? So minorities are not basically talked about, মানে কারা minorities এটা কিন্তু constitution specifically বলছে না. So under it, minorities are linguistic as well as religious minorities, right? So it is under Article 29 that they can have their own protection of language and other things. So that is about it. Okay, 30 is D. 31. Article 78 of the Constitution deals with what? So 78 হচ্ছে যে the Prime Minister's duty regarding keeping the President informed about the government's decision and policies. Okay, B is the right answer. And whenever the President will ask, right, that a particular bill or a particular act has to be considered by the whole Council of Ministers, then the Prime Minister would do so. So this is about Article 78. 32 question. Administrative and operational control of armed force is exercised by the Ministry of Defence. এটাতে হয়তো তোমরা অনেকেই আমি when I received the call after the examination, some people were like, President, no. See, because President ke executive control দেয়া হয়নি. It is just by the de jure. Okay, this is not de facto. President is not the de facto one. Okay, it's the Ministry of Defence. 33. How many times can the President of India seek re-election? In India, it's n number of times. Any number of times. Okay. Excuse me. Panchayat system was introduced after the amendment of the Constitution, the 73rd Amendment Act, right, 1992. So this is the one. And also municipalities were at the time of 74th, right, 1982. Another thing which you need to understand is that Panchayati Raj system articles, that is also important. I think from that also we have got a question. We will discuss it. Okay. The President nominates 12 members of Rajya Sabha according to, I try to remember, eta mone rakhar jonno you can remember this code LSAS, LSAS, literature, social service, then arts, and then you have the science. Okay, LSAS. So here the answer is D. Chalo. Then what we have, the Intellectual Property Appellate Tribunal. Intellectual, আমি এটা বুঝতে পারলাম না ঠিক এই কোশ্চেনটা কেন দিয়েছে. So because this was priorly existing, but when the tribunals got done away with, recently you must have seen news, the tribunals were removed and the jurisdiction of the Intellectual Property Appellate Tribunal, যেটা তোমার Ministry of Commerce and Industries under establish হয়েছিল, C is the right answer, সেটা actually এখন কিন্তু transfer to the High Courts. Okay, because after the tribunals were done away with, there was the Tribunal Amendment Act. Okay, so the answer is C here. But right now, to me, dekho IPR related whatever, you can go to the Supreme Court, High Court for its challenge. So 37. Sanskrit is the second official language. So dekho eta kintu ekটু khani questionable. Uttarakhande previously Sanskrit was the second official language. Uttarakhande prothom theke chilo. Himachal Pradesh has recently made Sanskrit the second official language. So if it is something related to current, answer D debe, কিংবা যদি আগে থেকে মানে কনসিডার করছি সিও দিতে পারে, সো এখানে কিন্তু অ্যানসার ক্যান বি সি অর ডি. ওকে. National Capital Territory of Delhi, NCTD, was constituted by the 69th Amendment Act. Okay, 69th Amendment Act. তার আগে বলা হতো Union Territory of Delhi, and NCTD was the 69th Amendment Act 1991. At that time, Delhi ke a legislature was also provided, right? So we have to remember these things like the Constitutional Amendment Acts and other things. 39 question. Which among the following languages was included in the 8th schedule by the Constitution Amendment Bill on 10th April 1967? So this was basically the Sindhi language. ঠিক আছে, এটা হচ্ছে Sindhi language. So এটাও recently question এ ছিল, and recently you must have seen Geo Parsi scheme, other things. So recently we are trying to protect the Parsi people from, because of the declining population. তো হয়তো তাই জন্যই এটা একটা current থেকে relate করে this has been asked. Impeachment of President of India can be initiated by either the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha, both houses, right? C. ঠিক আছে, note it down. I guess you have noted it down. Then we will move to the next part. Question 40 till we have done, hai na? Which act granted statehood to Arunachal Pradesh? Now দেখো এই কোশ্চেনটাতে কিন্তু একটুখানি problematic because it was in 1986 basically. 1987 থেকে it got implemented. Okay, so basically the Constitution Amendment Act of 1986 it was, but ekhane since 86 option ei nei, so we will go with B, 87. Okay, because 87 থেকে basically Arunachal Pradesh got the statehood, right? Which article of Indian Constitution contains special provision with regard to the state of Maharashtra? So you know all the articles jeta tomar jerom Nagaland, then you have Assam, so you have to remember this. 370 were for JNK, which got done with it. 371 is for Maharashtra. A is the right answer. 371A is for Nagaland, B is for Assam. So এইভাবে কিন্তু এটা মনে রাখতে হবে. Okay. Now let's go to the 43. The members of Election Commission in the center are appointed by, very easy, is D, President of India, and you can understand it was the election year, the 18 Lok Sabha election, and ECI থেকে question আমি বারবার বলেছিলাম Election Commission থেকে question তুমি পাবেই পাবে, right? This part was very, very sure. So 44. Which article of the Constitution empowers the President to appoint a commission to investigate condition of backward classes in general and suggest ameliorative measures. So যেরকম ধরো একটা particular commission যেটা backward classes এর economically backward classes এর জন্য they will consider that what is the condition. It is basically article 340 talks about it. ठीक है. Who was the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India? Very easy, H.J. Kania. Okay. So এই কোশ্চেন গুলোতে ডিসকাস করার কিছু নেই, ফ্যাকচুয়াল কোশ্চেন হতে পারে অনেক সময় মনে নেই, বাট ইটস ওকে, রাইট? সো জাস্ট আ লিটল রিড দি ফার্স্ট সিজিআই, দি ফার্স্ট চিফ ইলেকশনার কমিশনার, এই জিনিসগুলো কিন্তু একটুখানি একটা জায়গায় মেনটেন করবেন বিফোর দি এক্সামিনেশন, জাস্ট 1 night 2 nights before examination, one try revise it. Okay, let's see. The original constitution of India was handwritten by Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada. Okay, Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada, and you know Nandalal Bose was there, je pictorial representation jeta mane art of the constitution, that was done by Nandalal Bose from Shantiniketan. So this is very important. Eta Lakshmikante, I think when they are talking about the constitution wala chapter okhane kintu last time mention kora ache, please go through it once. Hindi theke likhechilen, right? So all these things are important. Fine. 47. This is basically English. Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada wrote in English and Vasant Vaidya wrote in Hindi. So এই জিনিসগুলো কিন্তু তোমার মনে রাখা উচিত. So 47. From which country was the idea of concurrent list in the Indian Constitution borrowed? Australia, right? Just now I think we talked about this concurrent list of Indian Constitution. Australia, we have 52 subjects in the concurrent list. Okay. The bill cannot become an act of parliament in India unless and until it is passed by Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, both Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, President's assent. Yes, D is the answer. Excuse me. So whether the bill gets passed by Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha is definitely a deciding factor, but the most important is whether the President's assent to the bill or not. Right? These are the steps, but this is the actual scenario. So 49. For the members of parliament in India, who determines the salaries and allowances? So the Salary Allowances Act is passed by the Parliament of India itself. So it is D, Parliament by law, right? We have the Salary Allowances Law Act, right? 50. Who of the following is the chairman of the National Water Resource Council? National Water Resource Council, Prime Minister of India, and this is very important, try to remember. 51. What is the maximum life of an ordinance promulgated by the President? So it is what? What is ordinance basically? It's a temporary law. So basically, say for example, when a particular house is not in session, a president passes an ordinance. তাহলে next time যখন সে particular house will be summoned, maximum gap can be 6 months. Suppose Lok Sabha was not in session, then the president promulgated an ordinance. So next time when it will actually come and sit, maximum time period can be 6 months. তারপরে তোমার how many more time it gets to basically consider the ordinance? 6 weeks. So it's 6 months and 6 weeks, right? C is the right answer. Be it for Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, because either of it, maximum time of the research could be 6 months, right? 6 months er moddhe they have to reassemble. 52. Okay, which amendment act made Sikkim a full-fledged state? So full-fledged state, Sikkim was made in 36th Constitutional Amendment Act 1975. C is the right answer. 53. The state were reorganized in the year 1956 mainly on the basis of which criteria? So you see there were previously this ruckus because of the death of the revered leader of Andhra Pradesh. So you see it was basically based on the linguistic and cultural reorganization, right? So even though the Fazal Ali committee didn't talk about this directly, je etar basis ei kora uchit, administrative was the most important factor, but it also recommended je linguistic cultural basis, so we can see, right? So 54. Who acts as the President of India when neither the President nor the Vice President is available? When the President of India is not available and also the Vice President, it's the CJI, Chief Justice of India, will act. Okay, national flag of India of Union was adopted when? It was 22nd July 1947. Okay, 22nd July 1947. The national flag was actually adopted, and the national anthem was actually adopted on 24th of January 1950. এই দুটো ডেট কিন্তু ইম্পর্টেন্ট. National anthem and song both were adopted on 24th Jan 1950, but the flag was on 22nd July 1947. 57. So 56, how many fundamental duties are provided by the Constitution of India? How many fundamental duties are provided by? Okay. B. 11. Article 51A talks about it. Article 51A talks about it. Under which part it is? Basically, you know it is under part 4A. है ना? Chalo. 57. Which article provides for procedure for the Parliament to receive estimates? With respect to estimates, it's Article 113. ठीक है sir? Article 113. It's talking about the procedure of estimates. ठीक है? You can read the article once. If there is some doubt, always you know my email ID kinkini.mukherjee@studiiq.com. কোনো যদি এটাতে মানে any of the articles or whatever I am discussing যদি কোনো difficulty থাকে reach me. 58. Which of the following committees suggested incorporating fundamental duties in the Indian Constitution? Swansingh Committee, right? At the time of Prime Ministerialship of Indira Gandhi. Which committee recommended constitutional status to panchayats? Very, very important. So, constitutional status of the panchayat was actually talked about by the L.M. Singhvi committee. Okay. Answer is A here. So, all the committees of the panchayats, all the committees of the municipalities and other committees, just go through once, you will have a basic idea. Union territory is administered by the President of India through an administrator appointed by him called the Lieutenant Governor. Yes. ठीक है. And देखो किछु union territories है जेरकम NCTD, we have the J&K and also the Puducherries, where we know we have a constituent assembly, but otherwise we will not count the black ships. We generally count the white ships, right? So the answer is C here. ठीक है. Excuse me. चलो. Then we have 61. Who among the following has the constitutional authority to make rules and regulation fixing the number of members of UPSC? So the numbers are not given in the Constitution of India. So it's basically the president who does it. Okay. Which constitutional amendment shifted subject like education from the state list to the concurrent list? 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976 at the time of Indira Gandhi. So not only education, forest was also shifted, weights and measures about taking care of wild animals and administration related, judiciary related certain things were also. So 5 subjects were there that are shifted. Okay. 63. Who administers the oath of office to the President of India before he enters upon the office? So just now this question was also something we have done, I think. Repetition of questions are there, we can see. A is the answer, the Chief Justice of India. Which of the following writs mean to be informed? To be informed means the higher court can ask the lower court. যেরকম তোমার Supreme Court can ask the High Court. High Court can ask the lower judiciaries to get informed. That is the certiorari. Okay, certiorari is the answer. So basically all the writs are very important. Prohibition ki? Prohibition মানে হচ্ছে যে you have acted more than you should and that's why it's prohibiting. Certiorari হচ্ছে it not only squashes the order but also transfers itself the case. Okay? So here the answer is D. 65. Who can extend the jurisdiction of High Court? So High Court is the jurisdiction, right? It can be extended by the Parliament of India. Answer is A. Okay? So who is the highest law officer of India under Article 76? Just now we have done it. They have asked কোন article তোমার Attorney General আছে and they are asking who is the highest official and it is of course the Attorney General. দেখো একটা question থেকে তুমি দুটো তিনটা question answer করতে পারছো. So the paper we will see it as that if you have read properly, if you have words properly, you can score good. 67. UPSC Union Public Service Commission submits its annual report to the President of India and the President tables it in the Parliament, right? So C is the right answer. The Vice President is the ex-officio chairman of Vice President is the ex-officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha and he is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha and that is the reason basically the Vice President, that is the chairman of Rajya Sabha, will never sit and head the joint sitting of both the houses because he is not member of Parliament, right? He is not member of any of the houses, but who is he? He is the Vice President. Okay? So if there is a joint session, joint meeting of both the houses, then the speaker sits or the deputy speaker jodi na present thake, then the deputy chairman will sit but not the chairman of Rajya Sabha. Okay? Because he is not the member of Parliament, he is not an MP. 69. Right to property was dropped in when it was mentioned under the fundamental rights, it was dropped at the time of the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. and then it got shifted into Article 300A. Okay, so right now right to property is a legal right, but it is not a fundamental right. Which of the part of the Constitution of India describes citizenship at the commencement of the Constitution? Citizenship has been mentioned by part 2. So all the parts of the Constitution are also important, especially to be part 9A পর্যন্ত কিন্তু মনে রাখতেই হবে, তারপরে ইলেকশন কমিশনের অ্যামেন্ডমেন্টের এগুলো মনে রাখবে, বাট 9A পর্যন্ত কিন্তু প্রপারলি মনে রাখবে, রাইট, দ্যাট ইজ মিউনিসিপালিটি পর্যন্ত। এক্সকিউজ মি, তারপরে দু চারটে আরো মনে রাখতে হবে, যেরকম অ্যামেন্ডমেন্ট হয়ে গেল, কি ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজেস এর উপর হয়ে গেল, আদারওয়াইজ দি ইসিআই দ্যাট ইজ ইলেকশন কমিশন অফ ইন্ডিয়া, ওগুলো মনে রাখতে হবে। তো 70 কোয়েশ্চেনের অ্যান্সার হচ্ছে বি, দ্যাট ইজ পার্ট 2 talks about citizenship, part 1 you know talks about the union territories, all these things. So part 2 is about article 5 to article 11. এই কোয়েশ্চেনটা আমরা অনেকবার করেছি এর আগেও ক্লাসে। মোস্ট অফ দি কোয়েশ্চেন আই থিঙ্ক 70% of the question we have done in class. বাকি যেগুলো করাও হয়নি সেগুলো আমরা ডাইরেক্টলি ডিসকাস করেছি, এরকম এই কোয়েশ্চেনটা ভাইস প্রেসিডেন্ট ইজ এক্স অফিসিও, and we have discussed this very properly about the chairman and the speaker, both of the posts and the differences also. So in this question also part jota ache we have discussed it properly, so please go through those videos তুমি যদি এই বছর prelims দিচ্ছ। Again 71, which constitutional article defines panchayati raj? So panchayati raj just now we have seen the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, and what did we see? It is under part 9, part 9 of the Constitution. One particular article talks about it. Article 243 mentions what is the Panchayati Raj. So Panchayati Raj is actually under Article 243 to 243O. Also what you need to do, what are the subjects jeta Panchayati Raj ke devolve kora jete pare, so read about that also. 72, which of the following amendment bills exempted the state of Bihar from the application of having a tribal welfare minister? It was the 94th Constitutional Amendment Act 2006, and basically the Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh has to have the tribal welfare minister, and Bihar was exempted from that. 73rd, which schedule talks about forms of oath? Eta amra already er ageo korechi, it is a repetition again. See, okay, third schedule. In India, the concept of single citizenship is adopted from the British Constitution. Yes, right, British Constitution. So এটাও লক্ষ্মীকান্ত একটা জায়গায় মেনশন আছে, and যদি তুমি StudyIQ এর বুক ফলো করছো কি আমাদের নোটস, so we are also mentioning it very properly, and it's very exhaustive list. Please go through it once, all are important. 75, under whose direct supervision is the Lok Sabha Secretariat? So Lok Sabha Secretariat is directly under the Speaker of Lok Sabha. Okay, because the speaker will actually see the business of the house and the rules of the house, so it is under the Speaker of Lok Sabha. 76, 53rd Amendment of the Indian Constitution 1986 made full statute for which state? It is the state of Mizoram, right, the Mizoram. Which of the following amendments to the Constitution is also referred to as mini Constitution? Eta amra totally discuss korechi. This question also we have discussed, this also we have discussed. This is the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. So basically I talked about the 42nd, 44th Amendment, 24th, 25th, 7th one, first one, এগুলো কিন্তু খুবই important. Then you go the 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act, then you have the this 73rd, 74, all these are important, not only for mains, prelims এর জন্য কিন্তু পড়ে যাবে। In case of president dies while in office, maximum tenure vice president can be in the office is 6 months. Okay, answer will be C, 6 months. Who can extend the jurisdiction of High Court? Just now this question was there. Who can extend jurisdiction of High Court? Again same question, A, Parliament, right? Some questions are repeated. In which case Supreme Court held that an constitutional amendment that takes away or abridges a fundamental right conferred by Part 3 is void. It was the Golkanath case versus State of Punjab in 1967. So basically at that time constitutional laws especially related to the fundamental rights were seen as sacrosanct. So you cannot basically take away those. See, basically তুমি যদি দেখো till the time of Jawaharlal Nehru's prime ministerialship, then this court actually had this that you can change the fundamental rights, and that will not come under Article 13. Okay, but after demise of Jawaharlal Nehru ji, court took a strong stance in that, and it said that fundamental rights cannot be abridged. Okay, so that is the thing. But then there was the balance between the fundamental rights and the DPSP's directive principles of state policies, which was talked later. Okay, chalo. So right now the stance is that tumi implement korte paro, you can abridge fundamental rights for DPSPs, but then fundamental rights, whatever you do, it should not be against the basic doctrine principle, okay, which came in the Keshwanand Bharti case. Okay, 81. Who among the following gave the following statement about the Indian Constitution? Indian Constitution strikes a good balance between the extreme rigidity and too much flexibility. Is Alexandric, and eta hoyto nao jante paro tomra, it's quite okay. KCVR generally talked about the quasi federal features of the Indian Constitution, but it's okay. Eta jodi na jano, erokom jodi kono proshno ashe eta janoi na, I'll tell you better, it's better to leave than to mark incorrect. Okay. 82. This question is something it's very factual, and I will consider it a bit tough for you people. Okay, I mean, overall, of course, whenever we do the constitution, it's not that we try to remember all the things said, but this is a famous statement, but it's okay. Ekjon je tomar onekgulo GS subjects porche, it's quite possible that you don't remember this. Okay, it's okay. So 82, which community gets special provision for central services in Article 336? It's important. It's Anglo-Indian community, and etar upor onek news chilo, especially after this, that Anglo-Indian community je tomar Lok Sabha reservation that was done away with. So kind of news was with respect to this. As per the Constitution of India, the Legislative Assembly of State consists of not more than 500, not less than 60 members. But কোন স্টেটের কাছে 32 members আছে? It is Sikkim. Okay, try to remember. কিছু বাচ্চারা ভুল করে গোয়া মেরে ফেলেছে, because Goa has 40, so it's also less than 60. But এগুলো factual হতে পারে, একটু mistake হবে. Okay, it's fine. So Sikkim is the answer. Goa has 40, Sikkim has 32. Who becomes empowered to make laws when the president's rule is imposed in a state? So when president's rule is imposed, it is the parliament which makes the laws for the state subject, right? State subject jai laws are which will be made by the parliament. Fine. 85. Which high court was established on the 1st January 2019? Ekta to amra dekhlam ji oldest high court. This is the newest one. Newest one is the Andhra Telangana High Court. Okay, Andhra Telangana High Court, answer is B. Okay. After basically the state was actually partitioned, that is Telangana and Andhra become separate. 86. Which year did Goa become the 25th state of India? Easy. 1987. Yes. Okay. Preamble of Indian Constitution was inspired by the preamble of the US Constitution. This is also easy. Choose the case in which the Supreme Court by a majority rule that Parliament could amend any part of the Constitution but could not alter or destroy the basic structure of the Constitution. It's the Keshwanand Bharti case, 1973. Easy. Right. Golkanath case just now we discussed about, and also we discussed about the other cases. Ek duto case aro amra discuss korchi, is important. Okay? All these 4 cases is important. Basically, the balancing between the fundamental rights, GPSPs were talked about. The Minerva Mills case, 1980. All these things are very, very important. Go through it once. 89. The Constitution declares India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, assuring its citizen of justice, equality, and liberty, and endeavors to promote fraternity among all. The word socialist, secular were added when 1976 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, basically prime ministerialship of Indira Gandhi ji. Chief ministers of all the states are ex officio members of the interstate council, right? Interstate councillor member, and interstate council is headed by the prime minister. Disputes between state in India comes to the Supreme Court under the original jurisdiction, right? Original jurisdiction. Because see, between states, if it is there, then you can directly approach the Supreme Court. How many schedules are there in the Indian Constitution? 12 schedules, right? How many Indian states have both the House of Parliament, that is bicameral, right? Bicameral legislature, it is 6, of course, that is D. So you know, the Bihar has, Uttar Pradesh has, Karnataka has, you have Telangana also has, you have Andhra Pradesh also has, right? Maharashtra also has. So these are the 6 states. The Article 227 of the Indian Constitution deals with High Court's power of superintendence, right? High Court's power of superintendence. So 141 we saw, Supreme Court's power of that whatever laws it makes has to be implemented whole India, and High Court's power of superintendence is 227. Fine. 226 is writ jurisdiction of High Courts, right? 95. Which committee recommended for the establishment of State Finance Commission for the allocation of finances to the Panchayat? It was the Gadgil Committee. Okay? Which of the following statement is not correct? Okay. Military head of forces, yes. Appoint commission to investigate, yes. Just now এটার উপর একটা question ছিল. Can declare any areas as schedule area, yes, yes. President of India chooses the Speaker of Lok Sabha, no. So who chooses the Speaker of Lok Sabha? It is by the people of Lok Sabha, है ना? The people of Lok Sabha, that is the MPs, will choose it. First woman governor of state in free India was Mrs. Sarojini Naidu of United Provinces. Right now we call it the Uttar Pradesh. United Provinces were there. Tar ছিলেন. She was the governor. Which constitution article lays down the provision for National Commission of SC and ST? It is Article 338. So under Article 338, we have the National Commission of SC, and under Article 338A, we have the National Commission of ST. এটা পরে কিন্তু একটা amendment act actually আলাদা হয়, আগে একটাই ছিল under Article 338. In India, political parties are given recognition by the Election Commission, national political parties, state political parties. The 100th Amendment in the Indian Constitution provides what is the case related to transfer of territories to Bangladesh, right? So acquiring territories by India, transfer of certain territories to Bangladesh. This was the case. So this is the question. These are the questions. These are the 100 question. So you see, we have the questions. কিছু question একটু tough হতে পারে. I think 5-6 questions as such. But বাকি questions are moderate. কিছু question খুবই easy. And you can score good. Next day we will do the other GS subjects also, যেগুলো আমরা discussion করব. এটা কিন্তু prelims এর জন্য important থাকবে. Please try to note it down and practice it. Okay. All the topics are very, very important. So thank you for attending and God bless you.